So this is part 2 of my preaching. I guess a lot of us are angry. You know, a lot of us who predicted some things that would happen and told everybody else about it. Everybody else laughed it off and blew it off. You know, I go back to the story of Noah's Ark, when Noah was building the ark. And all the people were laughing at him and making fun of him, calling him crazy. And then when the doors closed on the ark and the waters came and the floods began and the land was disappearing, suddenly everybody was wanting to get on the ark. Open up, let us in, open up, let us in. It wasn't funny anymore, was it? That's how I feel about today. You know, all this stuff was told to people. I mean, even back in January when the virus was told, hey, there's a pandemic in China and it's going to go worldwide. We need to do something. Oh, it's a hoax. Blah, 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 blah. This one's pretty, isn't it? Hey, Kareem asked me a question on one of the groups, and I thought he was joking with me, and I realized afterwards, no, he was serious. He wanted to know how long the straps are. I measure 18 inches here. 18 inches for the straps. And cut them. So sorry about that, Kareem. I thought you were messing with me. Going back to some other jokes where we mentioned where people never read their instruction manuals for their sewing machines. They just ask someone in a group to give them the answer. So I thought he was just being funny by asking me, how long are your straps? Okay, so anyway, where was I? I need to go back and talk more. So going back to, I've been on this kick. Well, it's not a kick, it's a fact of life. I've been on a passion. I grew up in a town where there was a lot of manufacturing. And almost every person had a parent or a relative or someone who worked in manufacturing. And when those manufacturing factories started to leave America and go to China and Mexico, people were left without jobs, and then the city became depressed. And one thing led to another, and unemployment and all that stuff. You can't build a strong nation if you don't have skills and if you don't have self-sufficiency. You have to have self-sufficiency and you have to have skills and be independent to be a strong nation. Well, that's how America was years ago. America was a very strong nation years ago. And then some boys come along and say, we don't want to work that hard. Well, we can go over to this country over here, and they got these migrant workers that work for pennies an hour, and we can get our product made and become rich, fast rich. Then we could charge the most for it, or whatever, or we can open up and be cheap about it and put the rest of the American competitors out of business. And then the whole world started doing that. It's called capitalism. There's nothing wrong with capitalism. God knows I'm in business for myself, and I gotta make a buck, and I'm doing what I love to do. I guess the point I'm making is that when you eliminate skills, you eliminate jobs, you eliminate independence and self-sufficiency, what happens? You become a recessed country, a repressed country, a very repressed country. You will then become a third world country, and this is what we're seeing right now. With this pandemic, no factories actually came back to America from the tax breaks that they received for manufacturing in this country. So now that we're having this medical crisis and we have no medical supplies and the masks and everything, they're all made in China. And China is pissed off with Donald Trump right now. You think they're going to give us supplies out the kindness of their heart? Not with the way Donald Trump has been treating them. And you can't blame them because it's not their fault. You have to blame the American companies who sent their manufacturing over there. So don't blame the Chinese people. You got to blame who's sending the products over there. Who is sending the manufacturing over there to be made, right? Think about that one, people. All right, now, I go back to when President Obama was in office, and He wanted to give corporations tax breaks, but he had put in a stipulation. The only way you're going to get a tax break is if you bring your manufacturing back to America and you employ United States citizens. And then you get your tax break. Well, the GOP with Mitch McConnell, he said, no, we're not going to do that. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to vote everything no that Mr. Obama wants to do, because we don't want him in office. We don't want a black man in office. We're Southern racist people. And no matter what he tries to do to help this country, we're going to vote no. However, there's one thing that Mr. Obama was able to do when he first got into office. He was able to enact a stimulus program to help small business in this country. So people can get a small interest loan to get their businesses going. And you know what? A lot of small businesses did. In fact, there's one famous place in Raleigh, North Carolina, a married young couple that brought manufacturing back of making jeans again. They're making denim, high-end denim jeans. And guess who their biggest the biggest buyer is? Japan. You know? Asian countries, they love American-made products. Okay, so fast forward to today. Now, Donald Trump gets to be president. I want to give corporate tax breaks to everybody. Paul Ryan, you be my poster child. Go out there and promote it for me. So Paul Ryan's out there promoting it. Oh, this will help Americans, American families who are struggling. People are living paycheck to paycheck, he says. This is going to bring jobs back. This is going to keep jobs in America, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so no stipulation. Mitch McConnell, oh, I think this is really a good idea. Yeah, let's give all the corporations tax breaks with no stipulations. So there were town hall meetings that news companies did with CEOs of companies. And the town hall meeting, the reporters asked these CEOs, are you going to bring manufacturing back to America if you get these tax breaks? You know what the company said? No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to bring manufacturing back. And it's, you know, it's all, I'm not telling you anything that's bullshit here, people. This is all news. This is all documented on videos. You can watch it yourself, do your research if you don't believe me. So now all these corporations got these tax breaks. They didn't bring manufacturing jobs back. Nothing. Nothing like that happened. So what actually did happen? I'll tell you what happened. Corporations bought their stocks back and they gave their CEOs big $1 million bonuses, right? Yeah, they did. And they kept their factories overseas. And now that we're in a crisis that we're in right now, this pandemic that we're in, and the medical people need supplies. They can't get them because they're not being made in America. They're still being made in communist China. You know, for a party that is against communism, they sure like to have everything made in communist China, right? Which brings me to today. Again, up to today. No stipulations. They screwed the taxpayer. And now they're going to give us, the government's going to give us a one-time check to help us during this lockdown. Okay, that's fine and dandy, but what's the long term? You know, the 1% in corporations got long-term tax breaks. They're not like Amazon. Everyone, oh, that's another thing. Everyone buys Amazon. Everyone buys Amazon. And Amazon, hell, they don't even police anything. They barely police anything. And they've got knockoffs. You know, I have a friend who has a factory here in the United States, and she makes a certain product, and she got a call from a customer one day. It said, I bought your product and it's falling apart and blah, 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 blah. She says, well, I can't find you. You know, you're not in our system. So she looked her up, and she says, the lady, she goes, well, where'd you buy our product? On Amazon. On Amazon? So she goes and she looks on Amazon. Sure enough, China knocked her product off, even used photos. Her photos. Her United States copyrighted photos to promote her product that's not her product. It was a knockoff from China. And now customers are calling her, complaining the product's falling apart, it's not any good, and now her reputation's on the line. She was on the phone constantly with Amazon to say, you need to stop this. These people are using my photos, they're using my name, they're using my product name. You know what? Look at all those people that go to Amazon to buy. Instead of going directly to that small business website, they're supporting Amazon. They're supporting knockoffs. Honestly, people. You know. Yeah, I'm preaching. I'm letting everybody have it right now. I'm letting y'all you have it right now. Because this is all fact. This is all fact and true. This is all fact and this is all truth. You enjoy watching me sew? Look how pretty that mask is. Isn't that a pretty mask? So now that we're in a crisis, a pandemic, and we have no manufacturing in this country to keep up. We got GM who makes cars, and the president's trying to get them to make ventilators. And then you have ventilators that are, that are not for people 65 and over who get the COVID-19 virus. They're going to die. I'm 60. If I get COVID-19 and go in the hospital, will they still let me have a ventilator if there's one available? If a 21-year-old gets sick? You know what? If it's my time to go, it's my time to go. But guess what? I'm not exactly thrilled about how this country was ill prepared. How no money went to budget. And here, and it's not just the government in Washington. It's our local state governments also. Who the hell would get elected, become an elected official of a state, and not have any emergency protocols in place for emergencies? Who does that? It's like I said, all these years, our state has been collecting money for the lotto. Do you know how much money our state has made on lotto? And you're not going to tell me that there hasn't been any hands dipping into the Florida lotto for personal profit for select politicians. There's always dirty dealing. But think about this. They said that all that money for lotto is going to go for education in this state. If that's the case, why are teachers paid so little? Why aren't these teachers getting raises? Why are we still having problem with education? Why are classrooms still so filled? Think about all this. I'm not talking because I'm pulling crap out of my hat. This is all fact. So all this money from the Florida Lotto all these years, they could have taken some of that money and put it into an emergency fund. Hell, this state is hurricane prone. In Florida, we are hurricane prone. And are we ever prepared for a hurricane? Now look at right now, all these people that have to stay home around the whole world, not just Florida, around the whole world, and no one's got an income. What's going to happen when people have no more money left to buy groceries and they're going to start starving? There's going to be vandalism, there's going to be robberies, there's going to be killings. The capabilities of a human and what they'll do to survive is limitless. We watch all those movies about the apocalypse and what humans do to survive. Listen, we're not going to be too far off from that now. The whole world's not going to be too far off from that now. That's why our government needs to get together and with other countries and say, all right, we need to do something to make sure our people who are staying home, because if they don't stay home, this virus will never be under control. We need to make sure that we're sending our people in every country food stamps each month and a check each month to get them by until we got this virus under control. We've got a possible vaccine ready to go, and we know that being under control, it's not going to spread anymore like it did before. No one ever thought of this stuff beforehand, did they?
We're just going to give those tax breaks to the big rich people. We're going to give them rich and oh yeah, now we're caught with our hands down because there's a pandemic. Oh, it's just a hoax. That's a hoax.
My cat is down below me. She thinks I'm talking to her. There you go. Another one down for a client. Another one down. All right, this is part 2, preaching for April 2nd. That's all I got to say. If you got something to say and comment on this, please comment below. And make it constructive criticism. Make it positive. How the hell we're going to get out of this. And be truthful. Don't give me no bullshit. Be truthful to the facts like I'm telling you all this time. You don't believe anything I'm telling you? Look it up. You'll find the facts. I'm done preaching on this one, part 2. That's it. I'm going to bed. I got 5 hours sleep all night. Okay? Okay, love you all. God bless. Bye.